All right, good morning. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Marset Perspective. I'm going to try to get the title right today, seeing as how it's our third episode. Woot. It's Tuesday, and I'm feeling pretty good today. Feeling pretty good. I've been doing all my appropriate self-care. I'm feeling motivated and ready. Driving into work now, and really just kind of getting myself together, doing that New Milford drive. And I had a bunch of things on my mind from this past week and so far this week, even though it's only Tuesday. I had a great weekend. I hope everybody else had a great weekend. I should ask you guys more often. I should check in with you guys, make sure that you're having a good weekend. I think that would be appropriate. Well, I had some really incredible things kind of happen recently, and I wanted to talk about it a little bit, at the very least for myself, but maybe could shed some light on some things and maybe help some people in some similar situations. So I guess I'll just jump right into it. So I powerlift competitively. I'm okay at it. It's fun. I'm attempting to qualify for USAPL. It's a federation or league or whatever you call it for powerlifting, and basically it's just like a drug-tested league for the United States. And I'm trying to qualify for nationals. My next meet is in March, and I'm going down to 165 pounds to try and qualify. So if I can make weight, my current totals, which is the total top lift of my bench, deadlift, and back squat, I should qualify for nationals, which is in June of this year. And the reason I'm bringing that up is because I had a competition semi-recently, a month or so ago, at Steel Beach Gym here in Connecticut. It was a really awesome meet, actually. It was pretty incredible and really well run, awesome people. I made some new friends, saw some really strong people. I watched a guy do a 750-pound deadlift, so that was kind of cool. And really, the experience was amazing, but what happened after / kind of during was actually wild. So I was posting some videos about the meet to Instagram, and I got a couple of messages from an old friend of mine. He was messaging me on Instagram, and we used to wrestle together in high school. And a little bit about me is I have not hung out with a lot of my high school friends in many years. And I don't know, maybe it's I'm kind of like an avoidant, very kind of low-key person, and I kind of just do my work, and I go home, and I hang with my family. But it's definitely a problem where I don't have a lot of close relationships outside of my family. And so that's kind of weird to say, but here we are. And so I get these messages, and I'm immediately like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm hearing from this guy. It's really amazing. I feel really good about this. And I was just like, I don't know, warmed my heart kind of deal. And then I get a phone call from a number that isn't saved in my phone, which, for those of you who know me, know that is, it's not an uncommon theme. I have a huge problem, and maybe it's because I'm avoidant, I don't know. I have a huge problem with not saving people's numbers, and then as a result, not picking up the phone when people call me. So maybe we can unpack that later. And so the number leaves a voicemail, and after the meet was over, I go back and I remember that I had a voicemail from somebody, so I was like, all right, it's probably just spam or something, but whatever, I'll just check it and listen to the message. And I listened to it, and it's this guy who was messaging me on Instagram and my friend Dan. So it's this guy Andrew, who's a good friend of mine, or at least he was a good friend of mine, and my childhood best friend Dan, and we all wrestled together, these guys. And I was just so blown away because maybe I'll get into it another time. Maybe we'll get into it today. I guess we'll see how the conversation goes, or the rant goes, I guess. I was so blown away because I hadn't spoken to Dan or Andrew in many years. And I think it's mostly because I've just been a really shitty friend. For no reason other than just not reaching out and being avoidant. And so I kind of brought that on myself, where the relationship just fell apart. And, you know, these guys didn't come to my wedding. I haven't seen them in years. And it's entirely my fault. And it's those things are some of the few regrets that I have in my life, fortunately, but they are big regrets. And what I mean to specify is losing out on close relationships of really incredible friends whom I shared many really incredible experiences with, who I've known almost my entire life, and letting those fall apart. That's a deep regret I have, and I have been trying to work on that and work on myself when it comes to that sort of thing. And these guys, they left me a voicemail, and they were just cheering me on, and they said that they saw that I was at this meet, and that they were so proud of me, and that they were supporting me, and that they just wanted me to know that. And I just was deeply blown away at their resilience and support and loyalty and consistency. And I just how much better are they than I am, is what was going through my head. And it just reminded me that those are the types of people that you want in your life, regardless of whether or not you might be very different or view the world differently or whatever. You can not be the exact same as people, and you can still love them. You can still want to be around them. You can still have conversations with them. You can still have deep relationships with them. And the guilty admission of all this is obviously, if you're picking up on this, I have a pattern, and I didn't respond to that voicemail for a week. And I just kept thinking about it and kind of chewing on the idea and trying to figure out, why am I not doing anything with this? And so I kind of talked myself up, and I think it was probably guilt. If I call, I've got to face this thing that I know is 100% my fault, and something that I regret. But by not doing anything, by not saying anything, I just perpetuate the same thing, and I never put myself out there. I never try to own my actions. And so I called my friend Dan, and he didn't pick up, and that's okay. So I texted him, and I just, told him that, how much it meant to me that they that they called me, and they were just keeping up with me, and that they cared. And the first thing that he said was, "Wow, I thought I was never going to talk to you again." It's kind of hard to say this out loud, actually. I'm finding myself slightly emotional while I talk about this, and that's odd for me, but it was the first thing he texted back, and he said that he was really proud of me and happy that I contacted him. And so I just began to apologize via text, for whatever that's worth. And we just talked for a while, and we agreed to set up some time to get together, for him to meet my son, and for me to meet his new wife, and go from there. They just got married, and I'm really hopeful that that it goes well, and I do something about it and stay consistent. So I guess maybe this is an accountability for me. Maybe that's why I'm telling you guys this. But I guess my point is, I made decisions for these guys for years, in my own head. And the longer that I waited to reach out and contact them and try to set something up or do something about it, the more I decided that they didn't want to hear from me anyway. And so it just got easier to do that. And I guess this is maybe a callback to the first episode about how it just gets easier and easier to make choices to just give up on things because you just decided it or you just avoid it. But it was really rewarding. And now that I'm kind of thinking about it, I'm feeling really good about it. And I'm really proud of myself for doing it. And I'll definitely update as things go. But then if that wasn't enough, so I obviously posted the first episode a few days ago and put up on Facebook and a couple of places, and a couple people commented. We got a few people listening to it, and I was like, wow, that's amazing. I'm really proud of that. And then someone commented on it, and another guy that I wrestled with in high school, his name is Nick, and he commented and saying some things that he would love for me to touch on and just get some perspective on. He has quite a few kids, and he's an accountant. He's a really great guy, and he was just asking, how he really enjoys to hear how everybody else balances, family life and work life and all of those things. And I was blown away by that too. I was like, wow, what is going on here? I haven't spoken to any of these people in years, and they still care enough to engage with me on some level. And it just made me question some of the things that I've done in the past, with what I say that I believe, with what I say that I think, but then some of my actions in my personal life are not reflective of those things. And so I'm just kind of chewing on that a little bit. And so, shout out to Nicky G. We wrestled together as well. He was the weight class below me, and he was a stud. He had this one move that he could just hit on anybody, and it was like a outside single ankle pick combination. And he was lights out with that, and he won quite a few matches because of that move alone, let alone all of his other skills. but I intend to touch on some of the topics that he had mentioned as well, and so I was really just like very touched by any of that, and it was just so small, but the fact that these guys are willing to engage on any level, just, it gives me a lot of hope for people in general. I guess in the way that people can make mistakes. Like, you're allowed to make mistakes. It's when you do nothing about those mistakes that you're wrong. And I don't mean that in a finite way. You can be wrong for a little while and then make up for what you did, right? It doesn't have to be the end of the world. But you can have regrets as a result of similar things. And if I get emotional about this, I'm really sorry. One of my another childhood friends, he was my friend even before Dan was. He was actually my first friend when I moved to Milford, Connecticut from Cheshire. And his name was Dante. And he was an incredible person. He was so funny and so athletically gifted and charismatic, and he was just the nicest, most incredible person. He was so giving. He died not too long ago, and regrettably, he was like my first friend, and I think my biggest regret in my life up to this point is he died without ever meeting my son. And that hit me in a way that I was not prepared for. And I think about the people in my life who mean a lot to me or have meant a lot to me, who still keep trying, even after years of me giving them no reason to do so. And I just think, like, what's wrong with me that I'm making these choices for these people? Like, if they mean something to me, something so great that I am gonna call it like the greatest regret of my life, I need to do something about this. And it starts with not making choices for other people and being capable of being vulnerable and allowing myself to be emotional and allowing myself to shut my brain down and not hustle every second of every day, and take some time for the people in my life, the social relationships. And I'm not sitting here saying that I'm like so narcissistic that I think that like this is the most important thing. These guys have to meet my son and like they have to be in my life. Like, it's not about me in that way. It's just like a measuring stick, I guess, in that these are people who mean a lot to me, and obviously my family means a lot to me, and I want to share that with these people, and I want to, I want them to experience some of these amazing things. And I guess that's what loving someone is wanting to share experiences that you care about and you love and you cherish or value, in wanting to share it with those people as well. I think maybe if I had to like quantify it, I think that's what it is. And when I think about these people, I want to share these experiences with them. I want them to be involved. I want them to feel it and understand it. And, I want to know what's going on with them. I want to be involved in their lives, that's something that I feel strongly about. And so it all just comes down to not seeing my mistakes as a grave. I don't have to lay down in that and just stay there. And I hate that this had to be the thing to wake me up to these realizations. But Dante dying, like, really hurt me. And I don't want to have those regrets again. I don't know another way to say it. I can't explain the feeling I get when I think about this. But I just don't want that to happen again. And I really think that it just comes right down to the bare bones of, you just have to act. You can't try to break down every little single thing that a person might be thinking or how they might respond. Sometimes you just need to collect information and just do it. Because no matter what happens, tomorrow's it's gonna come. And whatever tomorrow brings, we don't know. So you just gotta act, and you just gotta do, and you just gotta keep trying to move forward. But know that you're not gonna get that time back. You're not gonna get tomorrow back. So if you didn't do what you wanted to do yesterday, well, the next best day is today, right? That's what they say. The only thing you can do wrong is by not acting, by not attempting. And so that really shook me a lot, and really is taking up a tremendous amount of my headspace. So I don't really believe in New Year's resolutions or anything like that. My therapist says that I told him I really believe in behaviors, committing to behaviors, and he's convinced that is the same thing as goals. So if you think that same thing, well then whatever. But I feel like it's a little bit different. I don't like goals. I like goals. I just don't like short-term ones. I like short-term behaviors, or just behaviors in general that lead you in the direction of a long-term goal. Take that as you will. We can unpack that another time. The point is, I want to commit to a few behaviors, and some of them are, I want to regularly reach out to people. I want to just send a text, a check-in, and get together and plan things. I want to commit to being a good friend and not just stay in my hermit ways, because I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. And at the very least, if I make the attempt and I put in the effort, I can feel good about having tried. I don't have to be ashamed that I just let things go, or I just let time pass by. So, that's kind of heavy for a Tuesday morning. But it's the truth. It's what's on my mind, and if I'm going to keep doing this, I just got to let it out. Just got to be real, Try to be as real as I can. Nobody's perfect, especially not me. If anything, I'm very aware of my flaws, I guess, or at least I try to be, and try to move forward and take action, and just, do a little more than yesterday, try to be a little better, control the things that I can control, because that's all there really is. If you look at any situation, You just do the best you can. You prepare the best you can. You just have to do it, though. It's not a matter of talking about it. If talking about it's helpful for you, that's great. You should do that. But it will not supersede action. You've got to do stuff. That's what we always say. I think about my business partners when I talk like this, and I think about how and why we became business partners, and it's because I was very, very, very close friends with each of them, and they all mean a lot to me, and that's why for me it's so easy, because I think about these people and I think there's no possible way that I can see any of them making a decision outside of my best interest. And that makes me feel really good. And I think about why, like, outside of, the tactical, reasons or the advantages, why do I want to be partners with these people? Why is it so easy? Why do I look forward to it? Why am I excited by it? And it just comes down to, I can't imagine a situation where I would, go through the experiences that I'm going through without them. I wouldn't want to. It wouldn't be as fun. I wouldn't look forward to it as much. To be able to talk to people and commiserate and just kind of go through those things. That's really powerful to me. And maybe that's the takeaway of this episode overall, is identifying the people that you really want to share experiences with. Positive, negative, challenging, fun, and silly. Identifying those people and making the time, finding a way, committing to doing that regularly. That's what makes me happy. And I don't think I'm that much different than other people. Maybe I am. I could be super delusional. But having the ability to be around and stay around and communicate with the people whom you want to share your experiences with, that's got to be one of the better parts of life. That's got to be one of the more rewarding parts of life. I don't know. I think I had a realization here myself, guys. I hope you guys did. I hope it's powerful for you as well. But yeah, I can't imagine doing all the things I'm doing without my business partners. And then I think back about my personal life and how a lot of my regrets come from that area. And I just don't want to see that happen anymore. I don't want to feel that anymore. Maybe that's me maturing. Maybe I'm talking out of my ass. I don't know. I guess we're going to find out if I update you guys with positive news. But that's a part of being disciplined, being a person of your word, being accountable. Those things are really, really powerful. More so than money. Your network and your bond, your word, those things are really powerful when it comes to anything. If you have people who count on you and you can count on, then you're so much more powerful, so much more capable than any other person. Nobody's an island. Everybody needs people. Regardless of how antisocial you might feel or think you are, I think there's no doubt that you would be happier, healthier, more successful, more capable if you kept a tight circle and you communicated and you had those people, you had those social bonds. If you kept your word, if you were disciplined in your actions and you made sure to put others before yourself. But then to bring it right back around to not make choices for other people. It's a really, really great way to push people away, is when you've decided that they don't want to hear from you, and they never said that, and they never did any of those things. It's probably the most effective way. But I think that's what I've got for you guys today, or at least for this morning. So I think that's where we're going to end for now. We'll talk more later. I'm sure of it.